What's up, guys? It's your boy Fix It Daniel, and today we're going to be on the F150. We're having some gauge cluster issues. Hopefully, we can fix it and get our speed back on track. So, let us get into it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's been a while. I took a nice little break with my family to North Carolina, had a real good time. Now we're back ready to work. So, today we are on the F-150. So, we basically were driving on our trip, and I noticed that my speedo was off because I usually use GPS for mapping where we need to go, and it has a speedometer on there. And I noticed that my speed was different from my actual speed on the truck. So I did some checking, did some researching, uh, to check to see if it was either the GPS speed that was wrong or was it the truck speed that was wrong. So I had my wife check her phone, and I verified on a different Speedo app, and for sure it was off by like 10 to 15 miles, which is very bad. So when I'm doing 40, I'm actually doing 60 to 70, which is not good. So we are going to try a trick that I saw a guy on YouTube, the only guy on YouTube that was doing this. And it seemed to work for him. He did it testing out of the truck, but he had a kind of like a manipulator to turn it off and on to do the fix. So we're going to try that tactic, see if it works before we take it to the shop. So let us go into the truck, and let's go ahead and let's see what I'm talking about, so you guys can see what we're doing, and then let's get that cluster out so we can take it apart and fix the speedo back to zero. So let's go to the truck.
So I want to show you what we're running into, and you can already see where the issue is this right here. The speedo is actually not on zero, as you see the idle is, and all the needles are exactly where they're supposed to be. Everything works. I don't have any fault codes, like since some people said it could be a sensor hitting code. I tried all of the things. I checked to see if there was any speed sensing problems. There was nothing. It is off by like I say 10 to 15. So I'm actually doing 40, I'm actually doing 60. It's a real big jump, which is a lot. I'm not for sure when it actually happened. It could have just recently happened. I did have some battery issues in my last video. It could have been that far off and just never realized it, because when you're driving, it runs like normal. But I just noticed when I came back from my trip, I noticed that while I was driving, I usually use GPS for mapping and stuff, and it has a speedo on, and I noticed the difference that this speedo was off compared to the GPS, and I thought it was GPS was messing up. So I had my wife check hers, and it was doing the exact same thing. This speedo is off. So everything works. It moves like it's supposed to, but mine does the little sweep, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I rephrased that. I'm sorry. It doesn't do the sweep. It will do the sweep when you do the actual little trick here, which is basically you hold the OK button and then you turn it. It will sweep. It actually is supposed to sweep from 0 to 120 and then back, but it only stops at about like 100 and then goes back. So we know it's off. Supposedly, in this guy's video, you take this all off and you take this plastic cover off, you can actually manually click the actual mechanism in the back of there. You can actually click it. You just keep clicking it, and then then you move it back. And when you move it back, it actually takes you, either you'll be too high or be too low. And he said if you're a little too high, it's okay, because then you click it and then it'll go down to 0. And then once you have it set at 0, you're good. So we're gonna try and do that. I know some people were the guys were saying it needs to be calibrated right, and I'm pretty sure it may be, but if this fixes it, I will be happy, and I save myself hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I could get a new instrument panel, or I could send it off. That was one of my ideas. But then I decided that it wasn't very hard to get this off. It's really honestly just these two screws. You pull this little plastic piece that's holding it around, and then there's 2 more screws holding this in, and you pull it out. And then I think the cover is held by some clips. So you actually just pull the clips, and then you get your hands on the needle, and you just move it. And that's it. So luckily it's only just one, because in the video it was actually both. His RPM was actually acting up. So yeah. So I'm hoping that this will fix it, and then maybe we'll take it for a spin to get the speedo right, because I'm about to go on a trip again, and I really want my speedo to work and me not have to keep looking at my phone all the time, because in order for me to drive this thing, I need to have my GPS on with the speedo so I can make sure I'm not speeding, because if I didn't have that, I'd be getting multiple speeding tickets. It's literally 10 or 15 miles over. I kid you not. It is a very dangerous way to just like let it go and don't think nothing of it. Even if you do the digital hidden way, people will be like, well, just do the digital hidden way. You can't do it because it's still calibrated to the speed being 10 or 15 miles over. So really the only other way is to try this. And then if this doesn't work, I'm either going to do 2 things. I'm either just going to take this dash off, which I really don't want to do, is take it off, send it away, have them calibrate it, fix it, and then I get it back. Or we will order another one of these, and most of them are used. They're not that super expensive. You can get they don't really have refurbished ones. I'm not for sure how much a new one is. I couldn't find one. Most of them were either used, or most of them were companies that would recalibrate it or fix it for you. I don't know how much it costs locally in my area to get it. I did look online. The average price is anywhere from $50 to $100. Now that's not an actual price. That could be to the people who does the work's discretion. It could be anything. So hopefully, I wouldn't think it would cost too much. Sometimes it could be just a computer thing. You could hook it up and look inside and adjust it, or it could be something more worse. I'm hoping that it's just this adjustment. So we're gonna do this first. It's the simple and easiest way to do it before you call somebody or send the truck off to the shop. This is a really easy way of doing this yourself, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it, because he's the only one besides me doing it that's actually in detail of showing you how to do it this way. He's the only one I found. Everybody else is just more of you can hit the OK button and it'll do it itself, or some people have the tuner. You can get the SCT tuner. Some people said you could do that and manipulate it. Some people said you could change the speedometer sprocket to a lower gear, so that way it gets it back on track. There's so many different ways of doing this, and each one of them probably has their better ways, but I'm gonna try it this way because this is simple to me. I could do it, pull it out myself, give it a try. And if it doesn't work, then hey, I tried it. Go take it in, get it calibrated, and get it done. So let's get this going and let's get this out. I've already taken these 2 screws out. They're 2 7mm screws. Look like this. They're just 2 7mm screws. I've already taken them out of there. Now we just gotta pop this off. So let me get you guys set so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, guys. So I got you out of somewhat of an angle. So basically, you get some prying tool. Plastic tool works pretty well. Just get it up under here, and as you see, it's already popped. You get the same thing on the other side. Now the trick part is there's a pin popping here. Now that we already got this out, so you just gotta put your hand behind it and give it a good pull, like that. Grab the other side, give a nice good pull. All right, so we got a good pull here. We just need to get this other side and then we should be good. So we'll try our prying tool, see if that'll help. Try not to break it. Almost there. All right, so we're gonna try and pop this off, see if that'll help give us some pull leverage. We pretty much got it. We just gotta get it off from this side and we'll be good to go. Oh wait, I forgot. I forgot I left a screw in here. I didn't want it to fall off, so My fault on that. I forgot I left it in there. I stopped. All right, now let's try it again. There we go. All right, so now we just get this up and out of the way. It's got this little flapping thing. Let's see if we can pop this up. Looks like it's part of the actual column. Okay, so let's drop this arm. See if that gives us any room. It does just a little bit. So really, honestly, it's really just, okay, so we got some smaller screws here. So we got some, look like 7mm screws here. And then we got these little tiny screws up top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to not leave this in. So we're going to try and see if we can get these bottom ones. And be careful not to drop them because they are deep in there. Yeah, it is a 7mm. So I may have to go back inside and get my other little tool kit. This may be in the way. I don't know how much more we can do with this because we probably are gonna have to pop this off somehow. Hold on, let me see. Is it just a clip or? Okay, I don't think this will stop us from getting it out. We'll try it and then see, and if we have to take off this little bottom piece, we will. So like I said, 7mm on the bottom. I probably would say get your, if you have a magnet, that would be helpful. Getting it back in, you could stick it back in the actual socket, but getting it off, that's a different story. It's got this little trough here, so we're not going to actually lose it like I thought we would. So we just got to make sure you got long fingers. We'll leave it sitting right there just so we know where it is, and then we'll do the same thing on this side here. Sorry I can't show you, it's kind of hard. Don't have a whole lot of room. Let's see. All right. All right, so this one's a little tricky. There's not a whole lot of room. All right, that fell down. All right, so we are gonna go get our other little socket set, and then we will get this top part off. So let me go get that. Okay, guys, we're back. So we had to go to our little handy dandy Allen head screw kit. Not quite for sure which one it is. I want to say it's probably going to be a 2mm. So it's a little tight in here, and none of my sockets did the trick. So I had to go to this. kept going back and forth trying to find it, and I ended up just going with this. So, all right, we got them out. Now let's see if we can get this out of the way without it in our way. So let's see. All right, so we just lift. Should just come. Oh wait, hold on. There's 2 more screws up top. Looks like they're 7s again. So I didn't see that, which I probably didn't need to pull this thing off then. So okay. It's a little tight, a little challenging, but we're gonna get this out of here. I'm not gonna let this beat me. Don't want to lose these. All right, we got one more. Okay, hold on a sec. All right. Now it should come out. Yep. All right, we got a cable here that's holding us up. Somewhat. All right, so we got a little cable here. Just pull that and it's out. And now we got this off. So let us go in the garage and let's deal with this. So let's go in the garage.
Okay guys, so we're in the garage. So what it really needs to do is we need to get these clips undone, and then it should take this cover completely right off. So just take your little screw, like a flat screwdriver that you got, and you just work each corner. Now it may fight with you a little bit. So you may have to work it because you don't want to break it. You just want it to work with you to getting it off. So, because you got to remember these pieces has been in there probably since it's been new. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get this off without. All right, we got one in here. So what we'll probably have to do is do the double pry. So you get a tab to lift and then get another one to separate. So when you do that, it'll kind of work its way all the way around. And then you just keep working it until you get the cover off. We'll come back to that one. Alright, so we got this in here. So it's going to fight me a little bit. So just keep in mind that it's not going to just open it for you and stay open. You will have to get it to work with you all the way around. So it's coming. So we'll leave that kind of pried up a little bit, giving it a little bit of tension. Yeah, like that. Okay. We got a couple more. Okay. So just take your time. Try your best not to break it. Don't get too forceful with it. All right, we got one more. Here we go. Just like that. Just take your time, work your way around, and now you get access to it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to move this around. You might hear some clicks, then we'll click it back. So, okay. Gotcha. So, we have an issue with the actual clock itself. So, the clock itself is actually free spinning. So, what we're going to do, since there is no clocking mechanism, which is what I was thinking it'd be, we're going to just get it back to 0 and hope for the best. So I thought it was going to be like the other one where the guy was saying it would just click. Well, it doesn't click. So we're just going to get it back into position. We'll get it back into position where it's supposed to be. And then we'll put everything back together, put everything back in, and hopefully that will get it back straight. It may or may not work, but we know that it's not the sensors just by me moving it and realizing there's no click. So it might be there's something could be wrong with this. So, which is what I was thinking that it may be. And sometimes if it's dirty, you could clean it out while you got it. But we're just going to put this back on and get this back in the car. get it all back plugged in, and see what happens. Alright, that was a pretty good click, click, click. Alright, it's not exactly sitting at 0. So, let me take this back off again. Nice and easy. Steady as she goes. Okay, so this side's already clicked off. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, let's get this back exactly at 0. And right there. Okay. Alright, it's back at 0. Let us get this back on. Just get it set. Get it nice and firm and push. It all snaps. It's back at 0. Now, let me get this back in the car, and we'll see if this actually worked. If not, we'll have to get this. We're gonna have to get a whole new dash. So we know it's not a sensor or anything like that. It's actually because it's all electronic. So it's probably the whole entire instrument. Well, at least just this area, not this or the other ones, because these work perfectly fine. The screen works fine. It's just the speedo. So we may have to get a whole new one, a refurbished one, or send it out and have them do it. So let's get this back in and see if maybe I fixed it. Okay, guys. So we're gonna get this thing back in. So I don't know if you can see me, which you probably can't. We're going to basically get this bolted back up. So while we have it out, seeing how I didn't need to mess with these except for taking the cover off, I'm gonna do it while I'm out of the hole. So we're gonna put this back on before we stick it back in, because now we got it back at 0. So we can go ahead and screw these down. Okay, not too tight because you don't want to break it. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and get this back into the car. So let me reposition you guys. All right, so we basically are going to reverse this. We're going to get our cable. Get that in there first. All right. It's making some noises. Can't see it right now, so we'll deal with it in a second. I think it went back to 0. It did. It did. All right. So let's get this back in the hole first before we establish this real quick. All right. Let's get this up. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna try and calibrate it. So basically, to calibrate it, let's see if this actually works, is we're going to hold the OK button. I don't know if I can do this with 2 hands. So this is just gonna fly. So hold the OK button, turn it to the accessories. Nope. Nope.
Nope, that didn't fix it. Good try though, but it didn't fix it. It went right back to where it was supposed to go. So that means that it's probably not something in here. It's in something in the programming, something that needs to be recalibrated in order to get this back to where it needs to be. So we tried it and it didn't work. So we're gonna have to take this to the shop and get it looked at, which sucks. I was really hoping I could get that set back. Only other thing I could probably do is take the cover back off and then stick it back on without the cover, and then try to see if I can manually move it. But that would be the only other option. So yeah. All right, back off. I think I'm going to try that. Well, before we button this all up. So let me get this back out. We're going to go back I'm going to take the cover off. Then we'll go back, plug everything back in, and then we'll see if we can manually move this and see if it works. So let's try it. Okay, guys, and just like that, we are back. We got the needle back to 0. Reiterating, I basically took the screen off, left the screen off, plugged it back in. Naturally, the needle went down. So while it was still plugged in, I moved it back to 0 and then left it in, put finagled the screen back on, snapped it back in, got everything all nice and bolted, and now we're back to 0. Now, did it fix it? I have no idea. We will have to drive it. So to find out, we will need to take it for a spin, but I want to do a calibration. So if the calibration when it does this little cycle, it should go to 120 back to 0. If it does, I think we fixed it. So I'm going to turn it back off. We're going to hold it, and then we're going to try it. So let's give it a go. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this sit, take the key out, let it do its little shimmy cycle because it does a little flickery. All right, let me open the, oh, there he goes. It did it. So, oh, there he goes. All right, so it moved it back to 0. So we should be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do the cycle. It should go to 120 back to 0. So I'm going to try my best to see if you guys can stand up here and see as I do this. Hands. So I'm going to hold the OK button as I'm holding the camera. Hope it doesn't slide. I'm going to do my cycle. Okay, let go. Yep, 120. Back to 0. There it goes. Set. Done. It is set. So that means that it should, now that it's did its gauge testing, it should now be back at the correct speed when I do it with the GPS, or we can do it with the tester. So what we're going to do is let me get my tools back in. Let me get my other phone. I'm going to set up the GPS speed, and then we're going to test it and see if the same speed matches. We also will do the speedo. So we're going to do the speedo gauge, which is in this same section. There's a different way of doing it, but we're going to get that. We're going to try and get that up, and then we're going to do the GPS thing as well, and we should be good to go. So let me get my tools out of here, and then let's go take this for a spin. Okay, guys, so we're back in the car. We are going to get this thing set up with the actual speedo on the actual dash, which is quite simple. I'm going to do the same thing I held the phone. Let me see if I can do this again without it actually moving on me. So we're going to hold the OK button, turn everything on, let it do its gauge testing mode. Then we're going to let it, okay, 120, back to 0, hit OK. Does a little color arrangement. We hit OK again. All right, so now we're in the little modes. We're gonna keep going to the left, to the right, until we get to. So we keep hitting OK until we get to the actual speed. So keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Just keep tapping until you see the speedo. Okay, there's the vehicle speed, so I'm gonna start the car. Okay, so, all right, here's the moment of truth. So, the speedo's at 0. The speed's at 0. The GPS is at 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this for a spin. We should see the same identical movement. Hopefully this will work. So the only way to find out is take it for a spin. So here we go. So right now we're at 20, we're at 20, we're at 21. Okay. Excuse me, sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand, so give me a sec. Cars are on my way. All right. Hold on, So far, just for that normal movement, it's keeping the same speed. So we're gonna try and go on the main road here, which is like 35 miles an hour, and we're gonna try and see if everything works. So right now it's 0, 0, 0, everything's 0, and then now we're gonna take it for a spino. All right, here we go. Okay, so far so good. Okay, we're at 30, 33, 35, which is pretty accurate. We're at 35. All right, we're gonna get to 40 and see if we can hold it there. So I'm gonna set my cruise. Let me get to 40. 40, 40, 40, 40, all right. Okay, so right now we are cruising at 40, 49, 40, and 41. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's not, it's 41 because it's not exactly on 40. It's like 40 and a little nudge. So we're at 41 according to GPS, and according to the speedo, it says we're at 40. And the vehicle speed is jumping from 40 to 41 to 39. So that's a win. So I'm gonna turn off the cruise control. So yeah, this actually worked. Like, it's back. Now, the only problem that I have is that how long will it stay like this? So the reason why I say that is because it could easily flicker back to down past 0. So the only other thing is to take it back apart and do the exact same thing until we can either get a new instrument cluster, or we get or we fix it. We either get an instrument cluster, or take it to the shop and have them put it on the computer and figure out why does it keep dropping. But only time will tell. But so far right now, it is dialed. So that's telling me that if the issue happens again, it's not with the speedo, it's not with the sensor, it is actually with the instrument cluster. So that means the instrument cluster lost power, dropped, or whatever it did, it dropped it. So the only way to fix it is to take the cover off, move it back to 0, do the gauge check, and then you're back in business. But I would like to know basically why did it drop? So that's my thing. But so far, this thing is working perfectly, and I'm super happy about that. It was really easy to do. I kid you not, guys. This saved me not only time, by calling around the dealerships, calling the specialty place to figure out how much is it going to cost me. I literally saved myself, I would say, a guesstimate of anywhere from $50 to $100 just by taking it apart and moving it. So if you're very delicate with it and don't do anything crazy, don't drop it, don't move any of the other needles, you should be good. You should be good. So I'm going to chop this up as a win, and we're going to head back home, and hopefully this will all work out. So that is a win. We are cruising at 40 miles an hour, 41, 40, and we are dialed, guys. Now we're at 41. All right, so let's get back home and let's conclude this.
Okay, guys, so we're back. We're back from taking it for a spin. It's working perfectly fine. Everything is good. It's about, I would say, if I had to take a gander, it's not 100%. I say it's about a mile and a half off, which is basically lower. So when I pull some of them on GPS, sometimes it would say I'm doing 40, but I'm actually doing like 39.8. You know what I mean? And then it hits 40. So it's a smidget off. I don't think you'll actually ever get it perfect, because I've heard some people say that sometimes the speedos aren't exactly 100% accurate. You're either a mile or two off, or you're just a smidget off. I'm like literally a smidget off, and it's actually a lot better than it was. I'd rather be a smidget off than be 15 to 10 miles over. So we call that a win. So guys, the truck is back. It's running really good. The speedo is set. So now when I take my trip, it'll actually be good. I actually can rely on the speedo, and I'll still use the GPS for mapping, and I will keep an eye on the speed tracking and make sure that it stays the same, because I really honestly don't know what caused it, but I do want to make sure that I keep an eye on it so it doesn't happen again, so that if I do see the problem, I'll know what it is. Could have been a glitch, could have been anything, but I do know that it is working. But guys, that is it. It is working really well. I hope that it worked out for you guys, because this is the only video that I've seen so far on which is online. So hopefully this will help you guys out. So I'm super stoked about that, and hopefully you guys see this video and save you guys like $50 to $100 or so. That's what I'm thinking. But guys, that's pretty much it. You guys have a good and blessed night, and I'm gonna see you on the next fix. Until then, peace.